Now I won't even watch the movie. Oh, we got trashy all around here. We got trashy girls. We got a trashy song. We got white trash in the building today. Billified, the man, the myth, the legend. From Charlotte, New York, your favorite of mine, longtime friend, J.P. White. Woo! Look at that, Jimmy.
Well done.
Huh?
Well done.
I think you need that. I think that needs to be white trash's outgoing call.
I think it could be.
Like outgoing message.
Absolutely.
Can't pay you anything, Dougie, but thanks.
Right. You're looking for a dumpster?
Not that kind of
Not that kind of dumpster. You need a bin? You got some garbage you want to get out of here? White trash. I have been asked on occasion, and when he first came out with the bins, white trash. Jesus, who came up with that idea? And I overhear somebody. I'm like, well, my friend did. Like, what? I'm like, yeah, his name is Jim White, and it's white trash. Oh, yes. That's his name? I go, yeah.
Well, people just.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they jump to conclusions, especially on something like that. So.
Of course they do.
And even sometimes when it's explained, I was telling Bill one other time, they're still annoyed. I don't care. I don't care if that's the name. I don't like it.
Okay, well.
But majority of people, once they find out, they're relieved. And I think it's great play on words.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Peckerwood. That's a bad last name.
I remember somebody once saying to me that they said that the term white trash is racist because you're identifying a group and that it should just be trash. So, but I always went, yeah, but I know what you're talking about when you say
makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I know those. I got relatives that fit that description.
Right.
I'm right there. But yes, I guess.
You just can't say trash. You gotta make sure you get the color in there, so you make sure you're looking at the right person.
Only because it gives
look at
you
those losers, and look at that white trash over there.
Yeah, right. Losers would be one thing, but white trash. I mean, I'm picturing trailer park. No teeth, smoking,
sleeping with their cousin.
You got it. That kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking. I found, thanks to Kim Halleck, I went on and found the guy at the McDonald's, and this is the gentleman at the McDonald's. Let me see if I can find the audio. Why are we not hearing it here?
What the hell? Where's my extra hand from? Look at Mary's teeth. I paid for an extra hand from. Where's my extra hand from?
Even as a safety
Where's my
vest
extra
on.
hand from? Where's my extra hand from?
He even has a safety vest on, so he won't get struck. It's like one of those reflective vests.
High vis. He's got a high vis vest.
America's Got Talent right there. Just go up on stage and yell that for 3 minutes, and hopefully.
Where's Hudson Avenue McDonald's? Where's my extra hash brown? I need to talk to this gentleman. Did he get his hash brown? Was there a resolution to this story? I need to know. The people want to know. It's maddening.
A very special Billified.
Yes, don't you think? Like, you want to know what happened?
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know? I'm curious. I want to know.
Curious.
Yeah, Jim, I'm with you.
He's going to be showing at all different McDonald's all the time.
This is
It's going to catch on.
And this could become a trend, a way to get free hash browns from McDonald's. Where's my extra
pickles?
Yeah.
Hash brown is good.
I think you would buy one just to make the guy shut up.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I'm wondering how it all ended
Hash
up.
browns are expensive. They're like $2-3 individual.
Like, did the manager come out?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah.
How do you know this? When did you have a hash brown last?
I don't know, a couple months ago when I wake up early enough to get through McDonald's. I sleep in.
Don't they serve till 11?
No, 10:30.
I thought breakfast went all day.
No, not since COVID.
Oh, geez.
No, 10:30. That's it. You got the cutoff.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Speaking of COVID, the 4-year anniversary of the World Health Organization yesterday declaring the COVID-19 pandemic. It really hit. I think they shut down businesses here on the Monday after. So that would have been the 16th, just before St. Patrick's Day. Mm-hmm. I had actually done a guest set that Saturday night at the Comedy Club in front of Jamie Lissow. And then, like, right after that, everything closed. So we didn't know. But as a business owner, how did that affect you and have things come back significantly? Did it affect your business with trash so much? No.
Not at all. Just like your situation. We were essential.
Yeah.
We never missed a day of work. It was like business as usual because of, us being essential business.
Right. And nothing changed in my life.
Truthfully, we got busier with the dumpster side of business because there were so many people doing
cleaning out
and doing jobs at home. They had money coming in, a lot of them from getting different projects. They were bored.
Yeah,
did a lot of home improvement projects. So we actually stayed busy.
Jim, I got a theory. 20 years after the pandemic, people start downsizing their homes. You're going to see some of the shittiest home improvement projects because everybody thinks they know how to do it. Yeah, I went on YouTube. I learned how to frame wire 220 downstairs. It's all good. You know that is like some of the shit. It's missing. Nothing's 16 on center. Everything's like just a.
You turn on the microwave and the garage door opens.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I mean, that's how I see it going. After that's my. But I figured that's interesting that your business would certainly have kind of perked up a little bit.
Really did. Yeah. It was a crazy time because. Again, so many people were home and had a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
And we just stayed busy the whole time. And really, we kind of felt weird going to work every day. There was no one on the roads. I mean, you were going to work every day, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it strange?
Well, so I traveled at such times that there was nobody on the roads over the years. Like I did morning radio for 20 years. There was a time I was driving I just saw this guy. Oh, where was I? I just saw him Friday night. This guy walked up to me and goes, "Remember me?" I was flying into work. I used to wait. I had an office in my house, and I lived in Pittsford, and I would get ready. The show started at 6, so I would sometimes stay home to the last possible minute. And the only reason I did that was I would get up at 2 or 3, and I would start prepping for the show. But if I went in at the time, people may remember this name, Tom George, who did Traffic.
I do, yeah.
The late Tom George. Tom was a wonderful man. Big personality. He and I got along very well. He loved to ask me about Mary Tyler Moore because I had done landscaping at Mary Tyler Moore's house when I was a kid. Yeah, and but he would come in and just start talking to you, and if you didn't pay attention to him, he'd actually pout, and then he wouldn't talk to you, and he would get like offended. So I just don't want to deal with that fucking shit. So I would go. I would stay home. Because it was just like I needed to focus to make sure I had everything. And I had been working. I mean, don't forget, at that time, you're going, Wheeze decides to leave. You're there. They don't know you because most of these people, you've got to prove you're worth it. I've got 2 kids, one who's got special needs of diet, one who's on the spectrum. I got to keep a job here. And so my whole focus was I worked all fucking day. I would leave there, go to the library, write for 2 hours, go home, deal with the kids, get dinner, and be back in my office and write till like 11 at night, get back up in the morning at 2 or 3 and do the same thing for a long time. But Tom would get very offended, so I would stay home. Well, this day, dude, I'm fucking doing 95 in a minivan, a maroon minivan, flying down 490 headed west. And all of a sudden, I get lit up. And I go, shit. And I pull over, and I'm bent over to get the registration out of the glove box. And I look up, and I've got guns drawn on me. I've got a sheriff in front of me, car, one alongside, one behind me. And I notice, and I only say this, and people always said to me, "So this is sexist when you say it." I just looked up. It was a female officer with a gun drawn right at me. I mean, I went, holy shit. And this officer who I just ran into came up alongside and said, hey, license registration. So I said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to work. Where do you work? I explained where I work. He goes, all right, okay. All right. He goes, I'm very sorry. We had a robbery at the Woodcliff in a maroon van headed this direction. And so
Speaking of 48 hours.
Dude, but there's nobody on the roads, right? So if you saw a maroon van and there's nobody on the roads. So to your point, during the pandemic, I didn't really notice because I was always driving in at times when there was nobody on the road. And then, yes, on the way home, I guess, more or less, but I never drove at peak times, right? I would leave at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So, but it was, when I say my life never changed during that time, my buddy owned a bar. We used to just go in there, hang out, and hide. Or do projects like we pretend we were doing the floors and shit. I mean, we did, but it took forever. And we, drank and had a great time. So I was still going out, still seeing my friends. I didn't have my kids with me at the time. I lived by myself, and I would wear a mask but my life never changed.
Yeah, same here.
Never changed. It was very strange.
We had a place like that too. We'd go out after work, and I think I was mentioned to you last time. showed up in your pickup, just make sure looks like your toolbox is open.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tailgate's down.
So it looks like they're working. Right, exactly. That would, and I think a lot of times too, couldn't you do like a private party? I think you were allowed to say private party. I don't
speak easy or something.
Yeah, I mean, look, in the beginning of this thing, and I never know, because I'll always go back to, I'm not educated in that field. I don't know anything. I'm going to trust that this is the right thing. There were people that I do know a guy who was in his late 30s that did end up on a ventilator. Only one I know that young, but there was one too many. You know, I mean, a little scary. But you know, and then people dying, but most of them were of a certain age, and I don't know,
certain age and certain body type, overweight.
Yeah, I mean,
diabetic.
Right. I don't want to see anybody lose a loved one. My mother got very concerned. I didn't go home one Thanksgiving, and I was like really pissed. But I wound up. I actually talked about it, I think, on the radio, and a college friend of mine heard it, and she and her husband invited me over. I had a great Thanksgiving. I got rip-roaring drunk. I think I Ubered. I think Uber was still working then.
Oh, yeah, I was Ubering through that. I was always busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bonuses were up, making $2,000 a week.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Isn't it weird? Like, some businesses did really well during the pandemic. All the delivery service places.
Yeah. Some businesses shut down.
Yeah. Well, that's the shitty part.
Worldwide,
the hospitality business.
Yeah, the question is what happens. Let's hope it never happens again. But how would it be handled in the future?
Hopefully not to the point where it becomes economically destructive.
Agreed.
That's the part that, you know, the one thing is you have to, I think, as a leader, look at things on a macro scale, not a micro scale. And as a macro, what are we looking at here? And yes, people are going to die, but people die from the flu.
True.
And I don't mean to be callous or cold, but we can't then also put so many people in danger where people are losing homes. They tried to do things to keep people in homes. Well, that affected the people that own the homes for the buildings, and they get fucked. You know, it's like all this stuff just became a mess. And I'm not sure in certain businesses it's even sorted out today.
I would agree. I think there's still businesses that you'll talk to some people and say, we just never recovered from COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurant business really suffered.
Nobody opens till 2 anymore.
No.
Bar business, you're done at 10 or 11.
Yeah. Right, because I think people just go home. Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because I don't know how packed they all were. I think there are some that maybe a younger clientele, they do have people to about midnight or 1, but not often. And then most places aren't going to kick you out. But yeah, I mean, there aren't a lot of people staying out that late.
No,
that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem. And I don't know if that is something new since COVID. You know, I don't know if that's also a DWI
what do you think
thing.
The younger generation has so much other things to do besides going out like maybe we did in our growing up time.
Yeah, they're playing on their phone instead of playing darts and pool and drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
that's another problem. They're looking at everybody else's life on their phone and not worrying about their own.
I know. I never know, because I know, like, over here there's a bar that gets pretty young, and they'll stay open until 1 or 2 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then there's a restaurant behind them that does pretty well because of that, right?
Yeah.
And he'll stay open. But those are the only 2 I know.
But in town here, a lot of people can walk. This is the great thing about Fairport.
Yeah, Fairport you can.
But I have a son that's 22, and, I mean, if he goes out, he just hunkers home a lot of times. He's not a big go-out person, and he's got friends, but it's not like us. We just go out maybe
every
2-3
night.
times a week.
Yeah. This is just 7 years
it's a big
years
deal
ago
for him to go out. What about your sons? They go out?
Yes, but one of them's still in college, and he's on the track team, and he's working, and I don't want to know.
I don't know where he would go out there. Does he come into the city?
He does come in. He usually goes with a lot of RIT kids.
Gotcha.
Like, he'll hang out over there. I think there's maybe getting together at people's houses and stuff. So I really don't know. And then I know my son, who's 23, lives with his mom, but he goes to restaurants and things and with buddies from work, and I'll hang out. But you're right. I don't know. I also wonder if there's been such an influx of drinking and driving. That message that came in,
for sure.
You know, like it penetrated through to that generation. Mm-hmm. They really got it.
Yeah, fortunately.
And they saw it. And DWIs are expensive, man. You don't want to be fucking around with that.
I think because they're on the phone.
That's why there's Uber.
That's why there's Uber. But don't drink and drive.
No, there's the dumbest thing in the world now.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing in the world.
I talked to 2 bar owners within the last 2 weeks who had mentioned that a lot of their clientele is dying off. and they're not being replaced.
Yeah.
Because it's a generation. Our generation will go out, have a couple beers, meet up with people. Our generation above us did the same. And they're like, we're seeing our customers die, and no one's replacing them. So what do you do?
I can see that, right?
It's a weird phenomenon.
That is a weird phenomenon, and that's interesting because I'm wondering if you go to craft breweries, is that the same thing where you find certain areas where it's a little more niche, as they say?
Or maybe now that weed's legal, you can just get stoned at home and chill out, relax.
Yeah.
Don't have to go anywhere.
No.
Some people like that more than beer. And
yes.
A lot of people, actually.
Yeah,
it was never my thing, but...
Yeah, you didn't do it right, Doug.
Yeah, probably not.
I always preferred alcohol, too.
Yeah.
I come from a drinking family.
Yeah.
I come from very social. Everybody's, drinking and telling stupid stories.
Jimmy and I were just in Syracuse all day. We can still rip it up, baby. Right. Absolutely. Put on our work boots. And
you were there for basketball.
Yeah, for the Jim Boeheim Day.
Jim Boeheim Day, where they won, right? Didn't they just eke it out?
Well, they were up by as many as like 17 points, and then they just eked it out at the end by 3.
I think they're a talented team. Will they make the tournament? I heard they were sort of like...
I don't know. I haven't kept up with them.
So they got their hands full. They're going to play tomorrow night. They're playing the winner of the NC State Louisville game. Now, NC State beat both teams twice, I believe, which is always hard to beat a team a third time. But then they have to advance to the next round. So if they won 2 games, they'd be, I think, at 22 or 23 wins. They still have a long shot, even with that.
Really?
But it will definitely improve their chances. So you just got to hope they do well in the tournament.
Yeah.
So by no means are they a shoo-in. They got a lot of work to do.
Well, there is so the women's. I think the women's tournaments are already like their conference tournaments are over.
Yep.
And this is kind of funny. I'll say what I think happened and why this happened, but just think about, and then we'll go to just firing people. What you're about to hear to me is class. I don't know what else. I always think that I don't like the term classy or class. I always think it's kind of overused and a little cheesy, but I can't think of a better way to describe this.
And how do you plan to rebuild for next season?
I'm not going to be rebuilding. I just coached my last game at Utah State. I spoke with Diana, and they're going in a different direction, and I respect her decision, and I hope they get a really good coach in. I'm assuming that's going to be the last question. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All. Thank you, Coach.
So that's it. Her name is Kayla Ard. Yeah, but I mean, you got an opportunity. You could just drag everybody down, Jimmy. You could drag everybody down. The athletic director sucked. I didn't get the right stuff. You didn't help me recruit. I said I wanted this kid. You didn't give me the NIL deals. Right, all that. She didn't say any of that.
No.
She simply said, and I do wonder, because it sounds, I would think that most people are professional in these situations. So she was. I would assume even the athletic director. They were traveling back. They were on the road. They're going to travel back. I'm just assuming. I don't know anything about this.
Did she resign, or was she let go?
No, she was let go.
Okay.
She was let go. She was told right after, we're going to go in a different direction. Gotcha. And they did not have a good record. She had lost this early exit in the tournament. I think it's the Mountain Conference or the Mountain West or something. And she is packing up, and I'm sure there was some kind of talk like, hey, when we get back, we're going to do this. And she probably went to the athletic director, who was there, right, and just said, hey, listen, we're going to go in a different direction. Not knowing that she then has to go do the press conference. I don't think they would have told her that. But there were no other. Here was the interesting thing. Usually, win or lose, they've got some other student athletes on the dais with the coach to talk about things. There was nobody but her sitting up there. So I don't know if she stopped them, but I go, man, that is.
Less than you got to travel. Did the kids know? Did the team know at that point? I
have no idea. I don't know.
She let them know next. You gotta, because now it's public.
Right. Well, I'm sure you did. I'm sure like right away when everybody either got on a bus or a plane or wherever they were going. But I go, man, that is like, to me, total class, because you had an opportunity. I mean, I don't know about you.
Plus, I'm sure she was disappointed, and just to keep her emotions intact and just handle that the way she did, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She didn't even cry. She didn't get emotional. She didn't do anything.
How many years she was there?
I don't think she was there long. I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 seasons. Usually you have 2 or 3 seasons to try to make a program work. And I don't think it was going on. But I go, that would not be me.
No.
I'd be laying waste to everyone and everything.
It's your one moment to get back.
Isn't it? Yeah. And but then you never feel good after you do that either.
Bill, can we ask you a couple questions? Yeah, at this point, I want everybody to buckle up and just lean back because I got a whole list of people I want to throw under the bus. And I'm talking Greyhound bus.
We're going to be backing it up, pulling it forward, backing it up, pulling it forward.
Hopefully your pens don't run out of ink because these bastards.
I was like, but look, you have had businesses. I'm sure you've had to fire people. Mm-hmm. Did it ever go this smoothly? Or
I'm kind of a softie that way. The very few times I've been in that situation, it's gone relatively smooth. Generally, just people leave. Upset.
Yeah.
But I've never really had anyone tell me off or tell me what they thought of me or anything like that to my face, fortunately. But I do remember years ago, we had this one kid that used to ride in the truck with us. This is when I was in the landscaping business many years ago. And he wasn't a bad guy. He was a decent worker. He was always on time, but he would always loogie out the side. You know what I mean? And it's just one of my pet peeves.
Yeah,
because it's reflecting on everyone in the car.
Yes.
If someone's next to you, they're like, look at that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Just spit. He did it twice. And he would chew and things like that. And that's really how it ended up. I had to let him go because he was just annoying me so bad.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with his work ethic or I just was annoyed all the time. I said, you got to go, buddy.
Tough. It's not easy firing somebody.
No.
There's a couple of people I wanted to fire back in retail, and I just couldn't because I thought I just didn't have it in me. Wasn't the manager that I should have been.
Yeah.
You know? But,
well, like businesses, I mean, the one thing is like, I always think, especially when it comes to maybe bigger, I mean, you're talking smaller retail, you're talking a business you own.
Yeah.
Right. But, you know, you get into some of this corporate stuff, it almost becomes cold where they need to protect themselves. Much like you don't want that image, so you wind up saying either reprimand or try to correct the behavior, and if it doesn't correct, well, then we have a problem here, and you got to go. Like I was surprised I didn't get fired from my landscaping. That was what I did at Mary Tyler Moore's house, and she had a house that in.
Did you ever actually meet her? And what was she like if you did?
Yes, and she was very skinny. She had diabetes, so she would work out every day.
You wouldn't consider her attractive at that time?
I thought she was absolutely a stunning looking woman when she was
how old?
Young. When she was younger. When she was
younger. Here we go.
Man, let me tell you, the Dick Van Dyke Show. I thought she was a great looking woman, and I loved that show. I actually got a bunch of DVDs years ago when the DVD players, when I actually had one before, like shitty guys made.
Movie.
Yeah. That
shamed you into watching it.
I had to go watch that steaming pile of
charity.
What a waste of time.
No, but I loved the Dick Van Dyke Show, and I thought she was really pretty there. I thought the Mary Tyler Moore Show was really well written, and I didn't realize a lot of like MTM and all that she owned was her husband. It was a business guy, put it together in her name, and really did it more to protect her. And she had kind of a tragic life, a son that had committed suicide and this sort of thing. But she got remarried to a doctor, and they bought a house in Millbrook, New York. And I wound up working for a company that did the landscaping. And it was a woman who, my dad was a teacher, and in the summer, this woman ran a landscaping business. So I went over there, and I certainly don't mind working, but I like to party. It was my year between high school and college.
Ooh,
that was my summer. That was my summer.
That's one of
you
the
understand what I'm saying, Jim?
Totally,
this is my summer.
The drinking age was 16 back then?
It was 14 in my town. And I had gone to Spain for a week and done all, partied my ass off.
Went to Egypt, New York.
And Mexico. And then
all over.
So I'm in, you come back because Spain, I was so excited I could order a beer at McDonald's. I did all this stuff. We're out in the clubs having a great time. So I came back and I was still exhausted. And she had a nice house, big piece of property. And down this one hill, there was this little pond, and it had like a peninsula that went out. And I was told to go down and lay mulch down along the garden that went out on the peninsula. So I go down there, I got a wheelbarrow, and I'm going, and all of a sudden I'm like, God damn, and I lean up against a tree, and I doze off. And son of a bitch, if her husband doesn't come by in a four-wheeler. He used to ride around the property to make sure we were working, and he comes down, he's yelling, screaming at me. I was like, oh! I thought for sure I was getting fired. I thought for sure. I didn't have much interaction with her at all. She had dogs. It was the first time I had ever seen the electric fence, and I didn't know I was in a garden, and one of the dogs came running right at me, and I didn't know what to do, and I'm standing there, and I think it was she had a golden retriever, and then I don't forget what the other one was. What was the other one? It hit that fence, man. I felt so bad. I was like,
they usually don't correct it more than once or twice.
I know. This was early.
Maybe they were still working.
I don't know. I was an early. This had to be 1989.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Right? And I got it from my dog in 2006 or something. So I have no idea, but they had it.
So they say she was really a pioneer for a lot of the women actresses now.
Yes.
That from a comedy standpoint.
Yes. From a comedy standpoint, I mean, the first one to wear pants on television, I think didn't compromise on certain things. I think had a real sense of what was funny, and I think also had a bit of certainly a business savvy about her.
Sounds like it.
And you see some people today that are doing acting. I think it's I'm going to forget her name, but she does a tremendous. Who's in? Do you ever watch Apple TV?
No.
News? No.
Are you talking about the news show with the?
Yes, but it's got Jennifer Aniston and the woman who plays opposite her, and I want to say
Witherspoon.
Renee. Yes, Reese. I almost said Renee. I knew it wasn't Renee. It was Reese Witherspoon. I'm pretty sure Reese Witherspoon has her own. Look at how quickly you came up with that.
That's one of his famous jokes. I'm sure you've heard it before.
Well, I don't think I know this joke.
Did you hear about that actress in Hollywood last night?
No.
Hollywood party. This actress cut herself with a knife.
Really?
It was Reese.
What was her last name, buddy? Reese
Witherspoon.
No, with a knife. You've never
heard that one?
God, my sister Kelly told me that joke. I want to say 17 years ago. It's the only joke she's ever told in her life.
Well, maybe
and I've gotten more traction on that I still tell that joke.
You told that on the way up to Syracuse.
Oh, that's right.
I told to a bunch of people, and they all went for it.
Yeah. Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Oh, we're walking to the game like, gosh, damn, it's cold. I'm like, yeah, at least I'm not that actress in Hollywood. And the girls around us go, what actress? I go, shit, you didn't hear that news? Fucking wild party last night. This actress cut herself with a knife. It was Reese Witherspoon. I go, no, with a knife. And I turn around, I go, yeah, thank you for playing. Go Kills. Whatever. I was blasted at that point. 12:30 in the day.
What was their reaction?
They're laughing.
Okay.
You know, some girls roll their eyes. I was telling them at the bar, the game. Oh, yeah. Melissa loves that joke.
I like that joke.
You know what I love is when there's a shitty joke like that, but the way you deliver it and the joy you get out of it, that's what would sell me.
Right.
I don't care how bad the joke is. Like I always told you, George Lopez, to me, had the best monologue when he did a late night talk show, right? Because all the other guys probably had better jokes, better written jokes, but they weren't as delivered. They were not delivered like George Lopez. He delivered it. He sold it. He loved it. You could tell he was excited to tell you the joke. It was like, I love that. Yeah. To me, that's my favorite part. So go on with your Reese Witherspoon shitty jokes. Put it with your shitty.
I'm going to be telling shitty jokes April 4th.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yeah. And maybe again after that. I might have a gig
Hopefully.
for you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
With Greg Owens as the headliner and Cindy Arena.
Yeah.
Who is a trip.
Cindy's very funny.
Yeah. It as a feature. So you can look online at carlsoncomedy.com. Actually, Greg just texted me. And find me on Facebook at Doug Phelps if you have any questions about comedy. Because I'll be hosting that.
What kind of questions would they ask?
Like, what time's the show?
I
confused myself.
Yeah. Hey, I can't make it that day. Is there any other?
Hey, how do I write a joke about banging my mom's friend?
Hey, you got any hash browns at the show? Because then I'll come with all my friends in my speaker. Is it an open mic?
By the way, though, Reese Witherspoon, big company. I think Mary Tyler Moore did have an influence on that.
Oh, for sure.
Just letting you know.
That's how we started that whole.
Yes. Mary Tyler Moore in Ordinary People with Donald Sutherland,
which was
Timothy
one of the
and
first serious
best movie
movies that she ever did.
Who directed it? Because I know. Robert Redford.
Robert Redford directed that.
That was his first movie.
Really?
Direct, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that where she grew up then? Where you used to work? Is that where she was from? Or?
No, I think she lived, and she might have been New York City. This is about 90 miles outside of Manhattan, where we grew up. My brother affectionately calls it Appalachia because it's you got a lot of haves and have-nots, right?
A huge divide.
Yeah, we got a lot of white trash rubbish.
You make a bank up there, Jimmy.
All right, we'll take a moment. Okay, a woman went to Vegas. She witnessed something. She took it to TikTok. You will hear it next. But first.
Yeah, I remember who's a woman from Friends?